Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a 1950s classic that was directed by Don Siegel, right here. And it's starring Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winter. They are excellent, both of these people right here. They are excellent in this movie. It is in black and white, doesn't need to be in color. It is just a fantastic classic film. It is roughly about 80 to 90 minutes. It is 80 minutes, right here. Exactly 80 minutes, released in 1956. You can see on the back here, look at all those nice little stills. It's just an excellent little romp right here. If you're a fan of the 50s sci-fi wave, the wave of science fiction films like Forgotten Planet and all sorts of other things like that, they also did a bunch of types of horror, science fiction horror in the 50s that were just chef's kiss, and this is one of them. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a film that gets played on televisions in other movies. For example, in Scream 6, and don't worry, I'm going to be making a separate video on this one as well, but in this film, there is this movie playing on one of the television screens in one of the characters' houses. A lot of films do this. A lot of films show precisely this film on TV, and it's a particular scene that they tend to show off. It's near the end of the film where our main character, Kevin McCarthy, is shouting on the highway that the body snatchers are already here, they are already amongst you, and that you are next. It is a very popular memed scene that is put in all sorts of other film culture, pop culture things. And they also remade a lot of those scenes in other various types of TV shows and things like that because it's just such a memorable moment in film history. They remade this film in the 70s. I sadly don't have that copy. It stars, I forget the dude's name, but he's very popular. Let me see if I can remember it. Donald Sutherland. The 70s film version remake of this starred Donald Sutherland. And he is an excellent actor in it, and it's an excellent movie. I just don't have it. I believe it's out of print. That's why I just can't get a copy. I get a hold of one. It's very difficult to get a copy of the 70s version, and I do eventually plan to grab one, but for now, we just have the original 50s version, which is very good in its own right. The story is, well, if you remember The Faculty, I talked about The Faculty a couple months back on one of my older videos, where an alien creature, race of creatures, infect a bunch of people and turn all of the faculty and eventually all of the students into emotionless hive mind type people thingies or whatever. And it's up to Frodo Baggins and whatever that dude's name is. That dude's name, Josh Hartnett. It's up to those two to save the day, and it was an excellent 90s film. It's one of those films that came out post-Scream era, written by the same dude who wrote Scream, if I remember correctly. But it was an excellent film, and the story, the premise, is exactly what this is. The aliens took over the school, they took over the faculty, they took over the town. That's exactly what happens here. A plant from outer space crashes in some farmer's farm and starts to infect people. These little pods grow up and create the doppelgangers that have all of the memories and personalities of all of the people, but it removes the emotional, that heart, that emotional heart that comes with being human, so as to say. And it takes over the whole town, and it's up to Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winter to escape and let the rest of the world know that these alien creatures are taking over the world, so as to say. And we've seen this type of paranoia before. The Thing from Another World also, I believe, was a 50s film around this same era. It was an excellent film as well. I just don't have that classic version. I have The Thing by Carpenter, which is a remake. And it also deals with a very similar type of paranoia where you don't know which one of your compatriots might be actually one of the other people, the alien body snatched peoples or whatnot. And so there's a lot of paranoia going about, but they figure out who's who by the emotional receptacle of humanness and all that stuff. Either way, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is a film that you have to watch. It is a classic staple if you are a fan of films, if you're a fan of film culture, if you're a fan of anything film history-wise. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, if you have not already seen it, it is going to be on your list of films that you want to see. Not necessarily the 70s one. The 70s one is just a fantastic romp. But this 50s one, this original version, is that milestone movie that sparks a whole trend that continues to exist today, nearly 70 years later, which is fantastic to me. Definitely give Invasion of the Body Snatchers a look.